Hi there, welcome. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the campaign that I set up yesterday, and it's already booked 2 meetings, and honestly, I'm expecting to book 15, 20 meetings over the next couple of months completely on autopilot. It took me 15 seconds, sorry, not 15 seconds, that would be good, 15 minutes to set up, built the list, built the strategy, created the campaign, fully automated. Now I'm going to walk you through exactly what it was and give you some examples that you can apply this to your niche as well. So a lot of people say, oh, you sell LinkedIn, so it just works on LinkedIn. This will actually work in any niche. I'm going to show you examples how below. So the strategy, which is probably the most important part of it all, because once you know the strategy, list building is very mechanical. You just follow a process, and then setting up the actual campaign is very easy, and even writing the scripts become easy because you just plug and play the information into it. Now, the strategy is the thing that took me a lot of deep research and understanding of getting my positioning right, so I know that what I'm selling is very attractive to people, and I've worded it in such a way where I know it's very attractive, and I've also spoken to these people before, or at least know some of these people, so I can say the words that will hit their triggers. So in my case, I sell LinkedIn consulting to marketers specifically. One of the sub niches within that are fractional CMOs, and one of the sub niches within that are European based fractional CMOs. Now, I went down this route because it becomes easy to build the list because it's suited to the filters. But when I'm talking about fractional CMOs who are from Europe, and when I've been speaking to them in the past, there are two things they kind of get hung up on. It's that I've heard the word said repeatedly, I can't get clients from outside my current network. And they also wanted to get US clients because the Europeans perceive US people to have basically more budget and more willing to hire them and so on and so forth. So they're like a prestige type of client that they would want to work with. And their goal again, the promise that I've worked on over time is I can help you book 2 to 3 meetings every week using LinkedIn. Some types of businesses want a lot more meetings, fractional recruiter for their fractional CMOs want less because they can actually only handle a small number of clients. So they would actually prefer more high quality meetings, like say even one a week or 1 to 3. I could say 1 to 3 meetings a week or even a month that they know they could close and are a perfect fit for what they do. So if I said I can book you 5 to 10 meetings a week, they'd be like, I can't handle that many meetings. First of all, that's unrealistic for who I'm targeting. You don't know anything about. Whereas if I'm saying 2 to 3, that's something that's plausible within what they said. So the strategy is who I'm targeting, what their pain is, and what I'm promising them. Once I have that in my mind, then I can go and I can build the list. So I'll show you, I'll zoom in a bit so you can see it in a bit more detail. But basically, this is what the list looked like on Sales Navigator. I think there was, if I just move my head, there was you won't be able to see that, but it was 324 results. Let me just show you a bit more of a zoom in here on what I chose. So I want to go fractional, people with fractional in their job title. And I wanted to pair that with the industry of marketing services and advertising services because they're the ones who, I'm reaching out to. In some cases, you may not be able to pick a specific industry where this kind of becomes a bit more targeting and you have to use things like Boolean keywords and so on and so forth. I won't get into that now, but in short, I paired a word that I knew was in their job title with the industries that I know they're going to be in. So I didn't want to say fractional CMOs because not everyone says that exact wording in their thing. I also wanted to work with, these are typically smaller consultants, so it's self-employed or 1 to 10. So the fractional, in some cases, when a fractional CMO is contracted with a client, they'll have themselves in as fractional CMO, but say at Google, I know they don't hire those, but if they did, then they would not fall into this bracket. So I don't want to have those. I want to work with fractional CMOs who are basically on LinkedIn saying, I'm a fractional CMO and I'm promoting my fractional CMO services, not I am a fractional CMO for Google, if that makes sense. So this headcount here allows me to tighten that down. Then second degree connections always get a higher connection rate because you have mutuals with them and they can see that when they're accepting. And on this screenshot I haven't included, but I have posted on LinkedIn should definitely be on because this is a giveaway to prove that they're actually active on LinkedIn. And if you'll be wasting a lot of messages if you don't have that in. One thing that I didn't do on this that I could do would be to add change jobs. And then I could incorporate that in the outreach scripting, but I didn't say something like, so congrats on the new role at company. or saw you just started a new role at company, congrats, how's it going, or whatever. I could include that, but I decided not to in this case. And again, because I'm targeting European CMOs who want to work with Americans, then I obviously pick Europe as the geography. So that is the outline, and here's the scripting. So I'm just going to move this over to the left. The scripting, so I don't want to have I want a blank connection note, because it's better to have something blank than something that sounds generic and automated. So in my case, I get about a 40% acceptance rate with just a blank connection request, because I have a good headline and a good profile backed up. I'm not going to cover that, but basically the factors that decide whether you'll get accepted is the amount of mutuals you have with the person, how good your profile is, and more specifically how good your the start of your headline is, because that's what people will generally judge you from. So no connection request in this case, and I can get a 40%. That's what I would be shooting for if I was you. Second message, which I send 1 day later, and this is very direct response because it's very relevant in this case. Some people will say, oh, you need to go in softer and so on and so forth, and that definitely has its place. But if you can send hyper relevant messaging to the right person at the right time that delivers the right outcome, you can be very direct. But it's all about the relevance, and it's all about the wording. So you can't just come along here and say, hey, great to connect. Will I book you meetings with cold email just to some randomer? You have to be very specific, and this is where the research comes back into it. I know that they want meetings with US-based founders, and I haven't even mentioned in this specific one here outside their current network. But in this case, this is what I went with, and this is what booked the 2 meetings from the campaign that was set up yesterday. So, hey, great to connect. Had a quick look on your profile and saw you offer fractional CMO services. So, mass personalized. This is going to all 324 people who get it, but it is true. You can get way more into personalization, but if you're doing relevant messaging, this will work, and again, it has worked for me. If I could book you 1 to 3 sales meetings every week with US founders who need your help with their marketing and / growth strategy, would you be open to talking? Pretty straightforward, but again, they're a fractional CMO who wants clients. It's very relevant to them, and they're going to respond. And again, they have. And then the straightforward follow-up that it goes 2 days later is this relevant? This is a very direct response campaign. I'm not saying that this is how everybody on LinkedIn should do it, but this is a direct response campaign, and this will work in this scenario because the messaging is very relevant and the people have high awareness around my solution. If you are not in that, you need to have a strategy that suits where you're at on LinkedIn. And I've done a lot of videos about this in the past. So then I'm going to go to templates. I'll give you a template and some other examples to prove that this doesn't just work for LinkedIn people. So that's the template. I'm not going to read it out. And there's the example of my offer and what I did. Here's another one with Google Ads for e-commerce. So, hey, first name, great to connect. Saw you running some Google Shopping ads. Again, you can be presumptive here because if you're connecting with bigger brands, they are going to be running these. Saw you running Google ads, Google Shopping ads for their store name. If I could help you increase ROAS by 30% while reducing your Google ad spend through better targeting and conversion, would you be open to talk? Email marketing for SaaS. Hey, great to connect. Just signed up for a free trial. Again, you can be a bit presumptive because they probably have a free trial if it's B2C SaaS. For your product and got the autoresponder emails. Had a few ideas on how to improve them. If I could help you convert 25% more of your free trial users into paying customers through targeted email sequences that actually get opened, would you be open to talk? Social media marketing for real estate. Hey, saw you're selling properties in their location. Tough market. If I could help you generate 5 to 7 qualified property inquiries from, I could even say from first home buyers every week through social media content that showcases your properties and your personality, would you be open to talking? And then content marketing for fintech. This is the last one I'm going to read. Hey, saw you're leading marketing at their company. If I could help you increase qualified leads with compliance-friendly content that explains your complex offerings in simple terms, would you be open to feedback? So again, their problem is struggling with technical communication because fintech products can be that. Difficulty explaining complex products through regulatory constraints and staying compliant. And then the benefit that they're going to get is increased lead quality with compliance-friendly content that actually converts. So again, being very specific here. It's not, hey, would it get you loads more meetings, want to talk? It's, no, I've done the research. I'm talking specifically to you or a group of people who mimic your scenario, and then sending them direct messaging to them. And here's, I said I do some objection handling. So this is the message that I sent, as you've seen below. This person had an objection, which is usually very difficult to handle, but I'll show you how I did it. So, nice to connect with you. They said, in principle, I would be, but I checked your website and there's no pricing. So effectively, it's like, what's your pricing? I said, okay, and I told them my pricing. So my pricing is 7.5K to 20K, but, and then I reasoned with them why that's still a good investment. So as you're a fractional CMO, I'd assume your pricing is 5K per month and above. So we'd expect you to make an ROI on that investment within 1 to 2 months. Within that range, are you open to further discussion? So I answered their question, not exactly specifically, but I gave them a range because we do have different offerings. And I also reasoned why, if I just said it's 7.5K, you typically won't get a response, or 20K, you won't get a response. But if you say, well, it's this amount, but you typically are trying to make it back within a short period of time, or whatever that might be, then that becomes like, okay, yeah, that's reasonable. And then we booked the call. It hasn't happened yet, but it will soon. So I want you to take this. I want you to use it. Use the framework. The bit that happens before this, as I said at the start of the video, is getting the strategy right. Once you get the strategy right, everything else falls into place. But there's no point starting it until you have the strategy right. If you need help with your strategy, that's exactly what we can help you with. So there should be a link on this page somewhere to book a call with my team. There's so many marketers out there with a couple of tweaks with your positioning. You'll be able to easily create lots of campaigns like this and spin them up to all the different people that you can reach out to, and just book meetings on repeat. It can be very easy, but it starts with the hard part, which is getting the strategy right. So yeah, if you'd like to learn more about how we can help, book a call. Otherwise, go ahead, use this, tell me how many meetings you book and how many sales you make, and I look forward to getting the message. Thanks for watching.